Hello, listeners. This is Lee Price.
This is Will Ford from Football 365.
And you're listening smartly to At the Bridge Pod, a Chelsea FC podcast, although I would describe it as the Chelsea FC podcast.
Magical from Eden Hazard. Kai Havertz in the Champions League final. Ivanovic! In the middle, it's just behind him. But it's tapped in by Hakim Ziyech. Matic with the ball driver. Matic takes the net off.
It's time for another episode of At the Bridge Pod, your number one Chelsea FC podcast. Coming up on this episode,
the Keep Sell Loan series is back for another year, and as well as that great thing we get to talk about, we also get to moan and mope about because Michael Olise is joining Bayern and not Chelsea. Here we go. Welcome back everyone to another episode of At the Bridge Pod. I'm joining the virtual room filled with lions. I've got Ollie, I've got Chris, and hey, what were your moments from the weekend? Was it that we just did the classic? Anniversary's over, so we're going to change our logo back and never talk about 5 years ever again. But yeah, I did that. I couldn't resist. Anyway, Ollie, what was your highlight?
I had a really nice time. I was down visiting my in-laws for my mother-in-law's 60th birthday. So
Wow.
big day for her, and it was a really nice weekend. I had a lovely time.
Wow, Chris, what about you?
I had my girls' football team presentation, and we did it as like the whole club did like a family fun day type thing. So we was outside, lovely weather, had a nice burger, did some awards, played a bit of football, soaked up the sun. It was lovely actually. It was really nice. It was a big change because normally the presentations are in like a function room in a pub, but it was much nicer to be outside and have like little games and activities and stuff going on. It was a really good day.
Oh, fair play. I was greedy. I mean, I've got two. I might even have three, to be fair.
Do tell.
Well, they all happened in the Portugal-Turkey game because you can see how sad I am. Because first, it was when a security guard cleared out Portugal's Gonzalo Ramos right at knee height. Jose Sarr just points and laughs. Ronaldo emotionless. Silva's holding his head like an NPC GTA. Proper care that and love from your teammates. Just proper reactions from proper people that like don't really give a fuck. Is he injured? Let's laugh some more. And the second is worthy of this. The Stat Drop Club. Oh yeah, because
I know where this is going.
During Portugal versus Turkey, there were more pitch invaders, five, than goals, three if you weren't counting. I'll tell you what though, boys, that first lad though, got to talk about him.
I was about to say evaded five stewards.
Agility, pace.
Yeah, sign him up.
Sign him up, Todd.
The vision,
he's proven it on the biggest stage.
You've got to. Everyone's missing it. Look. He's first, the vision to spot Ronaldo. Jose Cancelo couldn't, but this kid did. He spotted him. He took a selfie of Ronaldo. First of all, he's got to use his hat, get there, get the photo and get a good angle. No blur if you've seen the photo on Twitter. Evaded all the security and he returned back to his seat. Todd, Clearlake, Paul Winstanley, if you're watching, 30 million bid right now.
Hey, don't speak.
And of course, I've just mentioned him. The own goal was the third because Cancelo and oh my gosh, Ronaldo's reactions. They went from "What the hell are you doing?" to goal. Oh, it reminded me of the Gerrard to Alonso thing when he took a shot from his own halfway against Luton. If you remember that,
yeah, I do.
Gerrard was so pissed at Alonso for the shot, and then he sees it going. And he's like, "Oh my god!" Yeah, gold.
Funny that.
Absolute gold. Look, we're not diving into the news yet because it's a shiver shout out. Football fan 689 left us a 5-star review. Left it quite simple. They put 5-star review. Great show, up the Chelsea. Thank you as always for your review. If you want your review read out on the show, just head over onto Apple Pods and drop us that 5 stars. It's always appreciated. You always get read out. So there you go. Let's hit the news. Loads of stuff. It looks like we're doing PSR loopholes and doing dodgy deals with Villa because they pay one of ours, we pay for one of theirs, and Juventus went, we'll do one of yours, and you'll do one of ours. That's the thing. But let's not talk that. Bloody hell, the Michael Olise saga is the only thing that really dominated the weekend, and I found it very rude of David Ornstein to drop that bombshell right after Berth and I finished recording the Friday pod. It literally was. I mean, the breaking news drop that would have made earth-shattering, and we lost out. Oh. So he's chosen to join Bayern after discussions with 3 clubs. They included Bayern, Chelsea, and Newcastle. It's an interesting choice, but what we do know is Chelsea apparently pulled out over concerns with the cost. Olise did want Champions League football, which obviously only one of those clubs can offer. And socials chimed in with a "haven't you owners ever heard of closing a goddamn deal?" Personally, I think it's look, Ollie, I think it's much better to face these kind of things with a sense of poise and rationality. But how do you all feel?
Oh, it's Panic at the Isco.
I love it. I had to do it. So what do you think?
It's an interesting one. I can honestly say I'm less upset now than I was at the time. I I was quite upset in the heat of the moment. In the heat of the moment, I was quite frustrated with this because I thought this is someone who's going to take the team up a level. He's
You're trying to rip your passport, not your passport, your season ticket in half, and realise it's all an e-ticket now, so you have to crush your phone.
Yeah, and then you're out a couple £100. So it's long, isn't it? But yeah, I was really frustrated at first because I was like, this is a guy who's going to take the team to another level. I thought he could be that creative spark, and then you kind of see why we pulled out of the deal, and it kind of makes sense. Like in the moment, you're always annoyed when this sort of thing happens, but you have to look at things logically. And if he wanted to be our highest earner, which it sounded like is either that's club brief or it's possible, then it's just not worth it for a guy who's been good for 18 months.
I think that's a very rational opinion.
What I will say is, at the same time, you can't then justify spending 60 million euros on a 17-year-old from Brazil.
Yeah, but this guy's Neymar's already said he's special.
Yeah, I'm sure he is.
And just saying, he's special. Neymar's spoken.
Listen, either it's all okay or none of it's okay. You can't pick and choose, is what I'm getting at.
What about you, Chris? What about you? What's your thoughts?
I wasn't that bothered.
A shrug.
Because I don't. Yeah, no, because
I've done it again, haven't I? When I'm ready to look up what people were saying. Sorry, Chris, go ahead.
I really like Olise, and I think he's a really good player. But I just think it happened again. Whenever we're linked to someone, they suddenly become the best player in the world, and they're not. He's a good player.
That's fair.
But he's been really good for a really short space of time. He's got injury problems, which if you come to Chelsea, we give you them. So if you've already got them, that's a real problem. So he would have come to us and not kicked a ball. It would have been another Romeo Lavia who he would have signed and then disappeared off the face of the earth. I don't think we need someone on the right-hand side. People keep talking about Cole Palmer like he's a number 10, but he played majority of his games on the right wing. He's better on the right wing. So I think changing him to a 10 would be a risk anyway. I don't think creativity was something we lacked last season. It was the thing on the other end of it. Yeah, we created enough chances, we just didn't take them all. And so And Olise is not an elite finisher. He doesn't score loads and loads of goals. He's very much more sort of Cole Palmer in that way. He's very creative, sees things. Would have been a good signing, but
agreed.
I'm glad that we've steered away from making him the highest earner because you put him 100%. On 350 grand a week.
Yes.
What's Cole Palmer going to ask for?
Look, I'm glad you said that. That's literally how I feel. I mean, look, is Olise a good player? Yeah, he bloody is. If you watched him play. But look, sometimes certain players are worth it. I fully agree. And I understand those fans who are like saying, Michael Olise, I get it. But look, that's going to cause an issue because highest earner, I don't mind if the club are going to stick with a certain wage bill. We don't want to turn, as I said on many a show ago, we don't want to be Man United when they started handing out Rashford, De Gea, these ridiculous 300 plus contracts. And you start to look and go, but they're not worth that. What have we done here? And
that's because Man United did what we haven't done. They signed Alexis Sanchez and put him on a ridiculous amount
painful,
per week,
wasn't it?
And then all of their other players turned around and went, well, I want that then.
Well, you know what? I look at our squad. I'm going based off last season, and I'm sure Gallagher isn't like this, but it doesn't matter. the top three players come to the end of the season with Palmer, Gallagher, and probably Caicedo. So why wouldn't they all three go, well, look what we did for Chelsea? It doesn't matter if it's short term or not. It don't matter. It's not how football works. Look what I've done lately. That's what it's going to be. And it would be Michael Olise has done, nothing for Chelsea. And look what I've done. Can I have that money, please? And then you've got an unhappy squad. So I understand it. I understand the logic.
I don't think, this is just me personally, I don't believe, unless the player you're signing is
Messi,
like top end elite level world class, would pretty much walk into any team in the world. Unless it's that player, I don't think a new signing should ever become your highest earner. I think
that's fair.
you should always reward the people who are already there and have actually performed for the team first,
that's
and then they have to earn those wages.
What I will say is that people who are also looking at our incentivized deals that we give players, right, and assuming that like all our players are just going to be happy on those incentivized deals forever, and it's not going to be the case.
No,
because there has to be a balance. Because at the same time, if Cole Palmer turns up next season and scores another 40 goals and assists, right, he's going to be like, "Where is my big pay packet increase?" They're not going to say, "Oh, well, you signed a deal for an incentivized deal, so you're going to stay on like 75 grand a week or whatever he's on at the moment." It's just really not going to. It's just not going to fly. So like, and I agree that you should probably be breaking that wage structure for players who prove it at Chelsea.
Yeah.
And that's ultimately, in the end, what kind of brought me round to not wanting this Olise deal to happen in the end.
It's what happened at Liverpool, wasn't it? They have a very strict wage structure, but they had to break it. Otherwise, Salah was going to leave. So they had to break it. But at least now their highest earner is someone who has actually performed for the team over a period of time.
Yeah, that's fair. Right. Well, you never know what's coming. Well, you do, because after a long month today, the Keep, Sell or Loan series has returned. And as always, this is just our own opinions, not what we think the club will do, because you never know what they're going to do. Not a bloody clue. So as usual, we kick off it for 2024 with the keepers and the defenders. And the keepers, we've got a fair few now, which is nice.
We've got about 9 keepers. I was looking at our squad the other day. I'm not kidding. Like, if you go on Chelsea's website and you look at the squad list, between like the first team and who's on loan and like the under 18s on 21, we've got like 12 keepers.
Honestly,
that many.
I'm so glad that this year I've had to actually pick the main players from the Chelsea website, purely because in other years we were picking random youngsters because we were so desperate to fill out the episodes, and now we've got too many players. So first up, we've got Ollie's favourite goalkeeper of all time, Champions League duo, 2 winning medals he's got around his neck. Kepa. I mean, look, for me, well, he's had some solid performances. He has. I mean, he's inconsistent. He's high wages. He's a candidate up for sale. Free up funds. He should sell for me. No, not easiest one of the choice. What the fuck that mean?
I think this surprises absolutely nobody when I say I would sell him as well. I think he would break his wrists trying to snap in half a ramen noodle packet.
Yeah, so, I mean, putting him as the first team keeper next season.
Can't do it.
No. New sound drops. Chris, what about yourself?
I've got him as keep. I think he's our best keeper.
What?
No
way.
I was hoping for a massive overreaction from Ollie.
No way, man. No.
I've got him as sell.
The problem is I respect
with him. Can't do it.
I respect your takes too much, Chris, because I was about to be like, okay, let's hear what he has to say.
No way. When Chris says something controversial, he usually has a very good opinion to back it up. That's one thing he's very good with. This one, I don't think you've ever got anything to defend Kepa.
No, he's a sell because it's the wages, and his wages are too high to be anything but number one, and he's not good enough to be number one.
And he's got more Champions League medals than everyone else.
He is the highest profile keeper at the club.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, he is that. Yeah.
Yeah, but you also, if you shoot from 50 yards, it'll go in. So.
Yeah. Next up, we've got Gaga Selena. I've got a loan. I think that's probably obvious. I mean, for me, I'd also say loan. I mean, he's got potential, but he needs to play, and he needs to go where he's going to regularly play, and it will be beneficial for it. I mean, the Championship's my show. It's It's always the Championship. That's always my shout. So, what about you, Per?
Yeah, I think I would loan him as well. The thing is, I don't really understand what happened with Gaga Slonina because like he was touted as a really, really good quality goalkeeper, and people were saying that like there's half a chance he could come in and at least be like maybe the third choice keeper or even the fourth choice keeper in the first team. And I don't know if maybe I just got caught up in the hype or what, because like when I saw him go to Club Bruges on loan, I thought that was a bit underwhelming. But at the same time, I think he has had. It was that last season, wasn't it?
No, that was Eupen. Eupen.
Apologies, Eupen is where he went. And it's, I don't know. It was a bit underwhelming for me, and I'm happy to give him another loan. And again, I think, like you say, Mikey, I think it needs to be Championship level now, because either you need to be thinking about finding your path into the team, or you're getting sold.
I mean, you say he was disappointed. He conceded the second most goals in the league.
That's not great, is it?
It's not great in the Belgian league of all leagues.
That's what I mean. The Belgian league, like, it's all right, but it's not a strong league at all. And like, so I think we need to be seeing more from him.
No, he didn't. I don't think he played in the relegation playoff. Just trying to find it now. Doesn't say if they stayed up or not, which is helpful. What about you, Chris?
I've got him as keep. It'll make more sense. It'll make more sense later. But
that's fair.
I was about to say, I'm not falling for it again.
They were relegated. They were relegated. His team were relegated. There you go.
I've got him as keep and to be number 2, because I don't think the number 2 goalkeeper is important. We're not in Europe. We haven't got a massive host of games. Well, yeah,
we're in the Europa Conference League. Come on, put some respect on it.
No.
Yeah, but I mean, for at least half of that competition, you're going to be playing nobodies who it's not going to matter who you put in goal.
Wow,
let's be fair. And I just think goalkeepers is the one position where they don't need a rest. So I don't think you need massive strength in depth at goalkeeper,
outside of injuries.
unless you're really unlucky and your first choice keeper gets injured for a prolonged period, and then you think, oh, I wish we had a better number 2. But it's like
football, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So I'd keep him as number 2, and like I said, it'll make more sense as we go through the goalkeepers.
And we go to Sanchez, who I have keep, because you cannot kick out the entire goalkeeper department. Makes no sense.
He can.
No, I don't see any bids coming in. I mean, oh my gosh, I feel so sick saying this. Reasonably reliable and experienced as a backup keeper. Solid competition for the starting spot. And look, he might cook under Maresca. He might, or he could burn the entire meal. I have no bloody clue. Maresca wants to give him a shot. So yeah, I mean, I'd say keep, because if I'm in charge, I don't see how I'm going to sell him. And I'm not cutting his contract up, because that's a compensation I don't want to pay. Chris?
So,
that's fair.
I've got, I mean, he's a terrible goalkeeper. And you'll always find someone who's willing to sign these people. You know, even if it'll be...
We can't sell it to ourselves.
But sell it to Strasbourg.
Yeah, what? Yeah, we wouldn't get another investigation.
Why would you do that to Strasbourg?
Oh, my
word. No, I'd sell him, trying to raise funds, because the one position I'd say that I really want us to strengthen is goalkeeper, and I think we need a top class goalkeeper, and that's going to cost money. So I'm keeping Slonina as backup because it's cheap. And I'm selling Sanchez to try and raise some money to sign an actual top-class goalkeeper.
Ollie?
2 words. He gone.
He gone.
Because, you know, I've never rated Sanchez. I think I remember saying at the time when we signed him, like, I don't know why we've done this. And he's kind of proved it, because, you know, a keeper from the MLS, and don't get me wrong, they make good keepers, but a keeper from the MLS has come out and displaced him in his first season in the Premier League.
Bettinelli, for me, keep third choice goalkeeper. It's the best job in the world. You do nothing, you get paid a lot, and you smile.
I've got him as the same.
Yeah, keep, because you're at the stage, isn't it? Where
homegrown quota?
Yeah, he's homegrown and like apparently like a lot of the team likes him and like things like that. So like he kind of helps with morale as well. There's no downside to getting rid of him, if you know
Yeah,
what I
Yeah.
mean.
he can
Sorry, no
baby.
downside
He
to
gets to
keeping him.
babysit half the team because he's the oldest member of the squad. I think. Or
Exactly.
he is
Like you
actually
need,
now. Yeah, he is.
yeah, if you need somebody,
Bloody hell.
you need an adult in the room.
Yeah.
Bettinelli is.
Oh man. Right, finishing off with Georgie Petrovic, who for me, promising talent. He can develop more. Really solid last season. He's a keep. I just don't know if he can do the same with his feet, but we'll learn. Oh, he will. So I'm keeping him. Ollie?
Yeah, I think you keep him, see what he can do under Maresca. I think, like, personally, you only need to be watching the Euros to see that the goalkeepers who are mainly good with their feet are really getting caught out from long range. It seems to be a dying fad, thank God. So, I think to a certain degree, yeah, you are going to have to learn to be good with your feet, Georgie, but I'd rather you be good with your hands first, and he is. So, yeah, keep him.
Chris?
So,
Whoa, no way.
No, you
yeah.
said keep him.
What?
no, I'm
Wow.
because I'm raising funds, and it come down to a
Fair
choice
enough.
between. It comes down to a choice between keeping him or Slanina, and I think
Wow.
his value is higher. I think after the season he had, which was a good solid season, I think his value. I don't think his value will ever be higher than it would be this summer.
Okay.
And I think he's hit his ceiling. I don't think he's going to get any better. I think he'd always be what he was last season. Good, solid goalkeeper, but he's never going to be a top class goalkeeper, in my opinion. So he'll just be what he is, and I would sell him while his value is at its highest point. Because if next season he doesn't play behind Robert Sanchez, well, you'd be lucky to get a £5 and a packet of crisps for him then. Because if you can't get ahead of Sanchez, then who's going to buy you?
I'm pretty confident I could get ahead of Sanchez, and I haven't played in goal for like 20 years. So
yeah, exactly.
Right, defenders time. Axel Disasi. For me, it's the easiest. It's not an easy keep, but keep because he's shown potential. He's versatile. He's just vibes, man. I love him. I mean, I don't know whether he's gonna. Every time I watch him, I don't know whether he's going to be a prime Desai or a prime Titus Bramble. I have no idea whether he's going to be very good or very shit. I have no idea. I love it. He's the the Rudiger character we need in the dressing room for me. But he's a keep. He's a keep. Ollie.
Yeah, I'd go with keep, but mainly because again, like he's one of the oldest members of the squad. He's a good character to have around. He is, yeah. Like he's a good character to keep around. Clearly, people like him. And who else is gonna, swan dive into the crowd if not him?
Yes, Chris.
Keep. I think Disasi. I think he had a really weird season, I thought, and I think he's another one of them players where I think when he plays well, people go over the top with how well he played, and when he plays badly, I think people go over the top with how badly he played.
What I would say is that he individually put in arguably the best performance of a player last season with his game against Man City.
Yeah, I do think he had. When you
but
look
he has
at his
that
season,
in him, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, when you look at his season, sort of objectively, I think he probably had more good games than bad games overall. So I don't know why you. I don't really see you getting much value in selling him. You're probably not going to even get back what we paid. So I don't know. I don't really see the benefit in selling him. I think he'd be better to have around the squad.
That's fair. Mark Cucurella, keep for me. He struggled, didn't he, to find form and consistency, but then the end of his season, he was cooking. He's cooking for Spain. He suits the Maresca tactics. Here's a hot take. This guy could shoot up into our top 5 player rankings for next season, I think.
Yeah, if he carries on the form that he's got now.
What is that a keep then for you, Chris?
Yeah, I'd keep him. Again, I don't really know who I would sign, who I could guarantee was going to come in and be better than him. I don't think there's loads of really good left backs, and especially ones available to buy. So I'd keep him, and I just think sometimes it's better the devil,
I'm looking at you, Oliver.
I would sell him, and I will tell you what.
Can't do it. No.
It's the same reason, actually, as Chris was saying about Petrovic. I don't think his stock will ever be higher than it is this summer because he's having a really, really good Euros. We know how
That's fair.
much a tournament, a good tournament, hypes up a player. Like we know how it
Milan
inflates.
Baros.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We know how it inflates like what these players are actually worth in terms of how good they are. And listen, I'm not going to say that Cucurella has been terrible because he hasn't, and especially in towards the back end of the season, he kind of really helped us put it together as a team. But I still can't. For me, that is the minority of the time, and the majority of the time, for me, he's a bit of a disaster when he does play.
You
And-
know
and-
what? Yeah.
Like so, in terms of like the long term, I think he's had again kind of opposite Disasi. He's had more bad games for us than good games. And if you could get 60 million for him or whatever this summer, I'd bite your hand off.
But who would you sign? That's
Don't
the
know.
question.
It's the right question to ask. Who would you sign? I don't really know.
That's
if I'm
the
honest.
problem.
Yeah.
I think you go get. I think you have to go get someone pretty established. Your best bet, even though he does get injured sometimes, is someone like Teo Hernandez.
You want an injured player at Chelsea?
Well, you'd
Come
like all players get injured, don't
Yeah.
they? So you know, at least they do it at Chelsea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? This is your man. I will let you kick it off, Ollie. Badiashile.
I would keep him. I don't think that surprises anybody. I really like him. I think his ceiling is much, much higher than we've seen, especially last season. I think he has the ability to be one of the calmest and one of the easiest playing centre backs that we've got. I think at their very best performances, at their very peak, he plays in a starting 11 for Chelsea right now, in my opinion.
Look, he's a bit raw. He showed that last season with some mistakes. Bright future, though. Bright future. Good ceiling. But I think alone would benefit him. But Championship. Let's send him to the Championship. Chris.
He would be the best player in the Championship.
He really would.
wouldn't he?
Yeah, Chris.
I'd keep him. I'm always really reluctant now to, unless they're absolutely terrible, to let players go after their first season. I think.
Was that his first season?
You've seen it at so many.
It was for us.
Wow.
Yeah, it was for us. Yeah, just seemed like a really long season.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah. I think the thing is, I've seen it so often at other clubs where players start slowly and they don't really pull up any trees, but then they keep them the second season. They're really good, and we don't do that enough. I don't think we back our players enough to improve in the second season. So Badiashile's someone who this year I think you keep him around. If it was the same season this year coming, then I think you'd be looking more at maybe a loan or to sell him if he had the same sort of performances.
Yeah, I think it's a critical year for him.
Yeah, but he could definitely get better, and I do think you've seen at his best over a course of a pretty long time as well before he got injured. Really, I thought he was actually really good.
No, that's fair. That's fair. We go to Trevor Chalobah. I've got Peep because he was just so electric, like Cucurella was towards the back end of the season, and he's a player who was set to be sold. And now for me, he's a player who's, you know what? He is one of the first names on the team sheet. He was that good. And that's a good mental attitude to go from, oh, okay, I'm being kicked out of the club to, you know what? I'm going to prove something here. I love that mentality. I've got to keep him. Got to keep him. Chris?
Keep. I think it's important to keep these players around who have come through the youth and understand the club. I think Chalobah's one of them players where he will always be a really good, solid option to have in the squad. And I think sometimes those players are underrated. You don't have to be world class all the time. And I just think Chalobah's one of them where he, even on his bad days, he's still like a 6 out of 10. And those players are really important, I think, especially when you're building a squad.
Yeah, that's fair. Ollie?
Yeah, I would keep him. I think the disrespect on Chalobah is enormous. I think time and time again, he's been kind of unfairly, sort of kicked out of the team, whether it's new signings coming in or he just fell out of favour or what happened. And every time he's done that, he's played himself back into the team. Every time. And so, like, how can you sell a guy who at every available opportunity has proven everyone wrong so far?
Right. This is going to be interesting. Alfie Gilchrist. He would benefit from a loan spell to gain valuable first team experience and continue that progression. But I just love what he brought when we subbed him in. And that alone, I have to keep him because of that. When he came on, he just had that energy. And I didn't see that from other. Gallagher always has energy. That's irrelevant. He's the Duracell bunny. But Gilchrist had that, oh, I'm going to get myself into a tackle. I'm going to throw myself in. I'm going to stop this. I'm going to stop that. I loved it. And I think we do need that energy. That's why I've got to keep him. Anyone else on the keep train?
I've got him as keep.
Good.
And
I like it.
I've got him as keep because I don't think we've had massive success with loans in recent years, especially with young players. I think we keep loaning them out to the wrong teams. We're always loaning them out to people in relegation battles or
that's true.
In leagues where they're just not going to learn. And I think so. I would be concerned about loaning him out that he'd go the same way as Billy Gilmour. When he has got a lot of potential, I think he would be better, even if his appearances was limited. I just think he'd be better being around the team, learning from these players and in this environment and just developing there. Like, people need to understand that this is real life. This isn't a computer game. He's not going to lose his potential because he doesn't play. It's
Phil Foden.
If he's going to be, if he's going to be good, he's going to be good. Whether he plays right now or not, he'll still be learning every day and developing. So I would keep him because I know what would happen. We'll loan him out to someone who's going to be either in the bottom of the Premier League or 12th in the Championship. And it's like, what you're going to learn there? Nothing.
You know what? You've got a point, because I'm thinking of one player who everyone absolutely hypes up to the sky and back, Billy Gilmour. We sent him to Norwich. What a waste of time.
Yeah, awful.
What did he
never
achieve?
recovered from that.
No.
Ethan Ampadu, we kept sending to Venezia. He was in a relegation battle in Serie A every year. What's the point?
Triple relegations, wasn't it? It was Spezia, Venezia, and Sheffield United. And
Sheffield United, yeah.
What do you learn there? Depression.
Awful loans.
Yeah. You learn how to
Lose.
deal with adversity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What have you got, Ollie, for Gilchrist?
I would keep him as well. I wasn't actually sure what I was going to go with before we actually started this episode for Gilchrist, and I was just listening to you guys and sort of listening to your arguments, and I think you're right. I don't know if loaning him out he's not going to learn enough. And I think he's too valuable a player in terms of what he can bring in terms of that, connection to the club. Like, you got to remember, this kid was like a captain of the under-21 side. Like, he knows what it is to be here. And he knows what it is to play. Having said that, I would keep him, but I don't think he plays much this season. I think someone like Josh Achiampong is probably going to supersede him pretty soon, because I think he's got just more raw talent and ability. Having said that, we've seen players like that come through before, and a player, for example, like Gallagher, who is more on the other side of things, more on the work rate side, has outlasted them all. So I think you need these characters in the team.
Yeah, okay. And we move to Chile B, Ben Chilwell, key player for Chelsea. He's got the defensive stability, he's got the attacking support from the left back, but there's a but here, isn't there? Kukureya's bossing it, and the fact that the best ability is availability, it's something he struggled with, and I do not see a world where you pay a backup player top money, and I've got sell. Yes.
I would sell him as well.
Wow, I did not see anyone agreeing with me.
No, I actually fully agree with you. I think he's on a lot of money at the moment. I know he's the vice captain of the club. For me, he's not fit enough, and he hasn't been fit enough. His performances haven't been good enough on a consistent enough basis for him to really earn that vice captaincy either, in my view. I think the team we're just getting to the point now where I think the team has kind of passed him by.
Yeah, comes by.
And like, as much as we can all appreciate Chilwell for how good he was at a certain time for us, let's be honest, he hasn't had 2 good games in a row since 2021.
Harsh, but pretty true, actually. Chris?
I really like Chilwell, and I think he's a really good character, but I've got him as Sal as well.
Wow. Okay.
I just think he's too injury prone, which is unfortunate for him. I don't think his performances have been great when he has been fit. I'm not convinced he suits the system. that we're going to be playing. I would actually fear for players like Ben Chilwell with the sort of phase football's moving into now with the whole inverted fullback thing, because Chilwell's a traditional fullback and they seem to be dying.
He's the overlap and cross kind of fullback.
Yeah, and they seem to be dying out now. We're moving into a different sort of phase of football. You know, when we moved away from, you used to have big, tall, powerful centre midfielders, and then we moved into the smaller, more technically gifted midfielder era. And it seems like we're doing that with fullbacks now. They don't want to be overlapping anymore. They want to be inverting into midfield, and I just don't think Chilwell suits that. And if that's what we're going to be doing, then I just don't see how he ever plays a game. So why would you pay someone that money and keep them around just to sit and watch?
Yeah, you pull a Pochettino and stick him at the left wing. That's what you do.
Yeah.
Reece James. Look, I'm not going to go on for long. He's one of Chelsea's most important players, and he just needs to not lose his temper and just stay fit in 24-25. Because when he's fit, he is one of the greatest right backs in the world right now. He just needs to stay fit. So for that, please stay fit, Reece. Please. Ollie?
I would say keep. But there's a
warning.
There's a sidetrack to this. Keep this season.
Oh.
If he doesn't play more than half the games, sell him next summer.
Wow. Okay.
Because Real Madrid are going to come in for him at some stage, and the best ability is availability.
Correct. Chris?
I'm exactly the same as Ollie. I've got him as keep because we know how good he can be. But if he's not going to play and he has another injury hit season, if he's not available for at least 50% of our games, then I just don't see the point. And if a big bid come in, and he'd be pure profit, remember?
Yeah.
I would sell him next summer, but hopefully I could see him
really,
actually...
We'd all be really reluctant to do it, but at the end of the day, you have to just get fit enough to play games in a row. It's all well and good talking about how good Reece James can be,
yeah,
but we never see it anymore.
No, that is
the thing is, you know exactly what'd happen. He'd go somewhere else and he'd be fit every week, like N'Golo Kante, and people who keep talking about how we shouldn't have got rid of him. But that's no good if he can't do it at Chelsea. And the thing is with James, I have got high hopes though that James can actually get back to his best in this system, especially if he's going to if the left back inverts into midfield and James becomes more of a back three, therefore saving his legs a bit more. Or if James is the one who inverts into the midfield, which again still saves his legs. I don't think James is fit enough now to be a Malo Gusto type right back. So I think if he plays in a system where he's playing more central and it gets the best out of all of his abilities, I do think he can get back to his best, and that's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah. Because I'm you know what, I'm thinking on that line, and it's just look at Kevin De Bruyne and Salah. It don't matter that they are world class at Liverpool, at Man City. They didn't work for us, and I don't think if they stayed, they would have been world class for us. So
that's the thing, isn't it? Like those two sales in particular make all modern Chelsea fans extremely reluctant to sell players who we know have talent. But if they can't do it here,
how many did we sell that went on to do nothing?
Exactly.
You know,
it's
every club has a player.
Yeah.
Every player, every club has them. I mean, it's just what it is. Levi Colwill, for me, keep, because promising defender. He is solid. He has the potential to become one of the rocks in the Chelsea defense for years to come. That's it. It's simple as that. Keep.
Yeah, I would keep him. It's pretty simple. I think he's got the highest ceiling of any defender in the squad, arguably. I really do. And if he can realise half of that potential, he'll be a very good player for us. However, his agent needs to shut the fuck up.
I haven't seen anything to do with this. I do know what you're referring to. I haven't read it. I've just stayed away from it.
You see the odd thing every now and then, like every season it comes out that, like Colwill wants assurances before he play. If you don't need to be assured if you have conviction and, in your own abilities. You are good enough.
You're going to love.
Levi,
Well, you're gonna
you
love.
are good enough.
You're gonna love next Monday when we do the forwards and Mudrik's there, because I read that where he wants assurances that he wants to start. That's cocky. That's arrogance. You want assurances you'll start.
I don't
Ooh,
think it's confident. I think it's the opposite of confidence. I think
I need to
why do
play.
why yeah, like why do you need assurances? Like if you're good enough, you will play. That's how it
Yeah.
works.
Right, Chris, Colwell.
I've got keep if he wants to be here. If he doesn't, then sell.
Oh yeah, agreed.
If he's gonna keep crying every summer about, oh, I want assurances from the manager that I'm going to play, but just perform then.
Easy as that.
You're the one in control, mate. If you play well, the manager's got no reason to drop you.
That's
But
true.
keep going knocking on his door every 10 minutes, going, "Oh, am I going to play? Am I going to play? I don't know, mate. I haven't seen you play yet. If you're shit, no. If you're good, then yeah."
It annoys
So-
me
Love it.
as well. You know, like he's been out for like months and months and months with a toe injury. Unless the toe has somehow like severed, like somehow
Yeah.
been becoming like embedded in his neck. How
Oh
are you out
no,
for
it's
3 months
pop-
with a toe injury?
the Aaron Rodgers toe.
The problem I've got with Colwell, and I had this last summer when people was on about he'll be, our next John Terry, and they've got to build the team around him, and look how good he was at Brighton for 6 games. He doesn't seem to have the best attitude in the world. He seems like someone who's going to throw his toys out of his pram really quickly, and I don't think that is overly helpful in a squad. So if he wants to go to Bayern, sell him. If he wants to stay, then keep him. But if we did sell him, I'm not going to lose any sleep over it, because he is in my opinion, he's a problem waiting to happen. Colwell.
Oh, okay. Gusto, keep young, talented right back. He's good cover, and the more important term, competition for Reece James. The depth in the squad. We all want this 2 players for every position. He's the 2 players. Ollie?
Keep absolute easiest decision on the list. I thought keep Malagusto, especially with we know how James's fitness problems are going on. You've got to keep him. All I'll say is there was a point last season. I think I mentioned it on the show. He was the fourth best right back, not at Chelsea, not in the Premier League, in Europe. The fourth best right back in Europe statistically at one stage last season. He's not going anywhere, and he shouldn't be.
Chris?
I've got keep. I think by this time next season, if he stays fit, which we always have to say with every Chelsea player, if he has an injury-free season, by this time next year, he'll be the best right back in the league.
Oh, well, imagine that'd be great. Talking of fitness, we round out the defenders with Wesley Fofana, and look, despite injury concerns, this for me is Fofana's make it or break it year. You know what? Sorry for the pressure, but I know his knees can't always take it, but it has to be the perfect season. You have to stay fit, because if you do, you're going to be a crucial part of this team. If you don't, you're going to be sold. So keep, but there's the asterisk. Keep, but if you don't stay fit, the 50% rule, I guess, I think he's gone.
Yeah, it's the same rule as Reece James. I say exactly the same, Margie. He's got to stay for a season, because we don't know how this injury that he's been out for a really long time, of how it's affected him. He might come back and he might be all right. He might come back and he might be absolutely shocking. The most important thing is we give him a chance.
Yes.
But then it's in his hands. And if he doesn't, and if he can't deliver, and if he can't stay fit, you are on the first plane back to Saint Etienne.
Yeah. Chris?
I've got keep, but with a slightly different rule to Reece James. I've got keep, unless if he misses any game through pre-season or the start of the season before the window closes through injury, I'd sell him.
That'd be a
sell
worry,
him before the
actually.
window.
That's the problem, though. At that stage, you wouldn't be able to.
I'd panic. I'd panic if that happens. I'm panicking, because you're going to start thinking it's going to be reoccurring.
Because my problem with Fofana is he's had a really long injury at Leicester. We still signed him. Then he's had a really long injury at us. You don't know what player you're getting back. He could be. Everyone is saying that, he'll make that right-sided centre back place his own. Look how good he was. This is nearly 2 years ago. He could come back and not even be a championship level player. You just don't know. We literally don't know anything about him. It's basically a new signing, because we've never seen this version of Wesley Fofana. He could be good. He could be absolutely dreadful.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
my issue with him is if there's even a sign that he could be getting injured, I would sell him.
Yeah,
Fair
like
enough.
if I see a thing in pre-season that says like he suffered a minor setback, he's gone.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. Because what you've
I've
got
had
to think
enough.
about as well is if you keep him and he has another injury this year, you'll never sell him. And if you do sell him, it'll be for like 10 million quid to Everton.
Oh, the pain. They couldn't afford him. 10 million. Come on.
Yeah, that's true.
Right, moving on to Quaresma's questions. JBH25, he's at the double today because first he asks, after the first couple of matches of Euro 24, have your predictions for the winner changed? Now, just want to say, no one's allowed to change their mind on this show. It doesn't happen. When you lock it in with the predictions. I had Portugal. I'm a happy person. I'm a happy boy. Guys, are you happy?
I had France. I'm still happy, but I'm not as happy as I was. And I would also like to formally withdraw my prediction that Germany would be poor.
I don't know. Switzerland certainly showed them stuff last night.
You know, like, I've seen enough from them that, like, listen, it's home games and stuff for them from here on out. Like, for the rest of the tournament, they'll be there or thereabouts. They kind of slipped up a little bit against Switzerland and still rescued it in the end.
Yeah.
Like, they've got the fans on their side. Like, I just think their squad is too good. Their manager's too good for them not to at least.
You'd like to hope the fans would be on their side, considering they're hosting the actual tournament.
You would hope so. Yeah, I think. Honestly, I think they will at least make the final.
Chris,
I'm happy. I think Germany have looked up so far.
That's totally fair.
Even again, because the thing is, like Ollie's right. Even against Switzerland, they wasn't great, and they still didn't lose. They still rescued it, and
that's good teams do that.
Yeah, and they've got that thing that traditionally German teams have in tournaments where they've managed to find a way to get the result they need.
That's fair. He's got a second question. Best pitch invasion so far?
Definitely Ronaldo. Ronaldo selfie.
You know
evades
what?
5 stewards.
Yeah, you know what?
Might be the best of all time.
There was one in that Italy. Actually, no, not that one. Italy, Albania. That's what I was saying. I was going to say Italy, Portugal. It wasn't them. Italy, Albania. The dude dropped his shoulder. Security guard slips and is down. But then the pitch invader hits the deck himself, like he found just the one spot on the pitch of a banana peel. It was quite. It's on YouTube. It's like a short. It's worth finding. It's brilliant.
Listen, I know that they don't like. They choose as a policy not to show the pitch.
It's annoying. I miss seeing
on telly now. Stop doing that. It's sport. It's entertainment. These things happen sometimes. All right.
Pitch invaders. Yeah, look, if they're a streaker, totally get it because you got the watershed and all that stuff.
Even then,
I get it.
No, even then. Like, do you remember there was that one at the snooker that one time and he hid under the table?
Oh my word, no! Oh no, I'm not googling that. No,
I'll have to send you the link to that later.
Gosh.
But
Chris...
I just think not seeing it just robs you of the joy.
Yeah, I expect. Chris, who have you got one?
Yeah, the Ronaldo selfie one is garbage. Is there a reason why there's been so many pitch invasions?
Because security are useless?
Yeah, I think maybe just a lack of stewards.
Did you notice
the one thing I will say?
The age went up for each pitch invader. Like the kid did it, and then a teenager, and then a fully grown man, and you're like, hang on a minute.
In the 90th minute, an old geezer in a wheelchair wheels himself onto the pitch.
I love it.
The one thing I will say about that is I think like they've kind of got to get a bit more serious though about pitches.
I agree.
Because like that again, it's a case of like that kid who went up to Ronaldo or whatever. Like all it takes is like one psychopath with a weapon.
Right.
Suddenly like the game changes forever. Like 100%. And so like I think they've got to be doing a better job with this. And get it, it's a hard thing. You've got like less than 1,000 people having to marshal thousands of people, and I get that. Yeah. But you somehow have to find a way.
Go on.
I've never understood the pitch invasion thing. Do you know when I hate it most? You know when a team wins a title. I hate it.
And everyone streams on.
Yeah, I hate
City
it.
fans, it's like, come on.
I mean, firstly, that annoyed me because Man City have won 5 in a row or whatever it is, 4 in a row. So I don't know what you're running on the pitch for. You see this every year.
Chris's prediction for next season done.
But I just hate it. Because I think it ruins it. Because you just got players running off life, and then it's just a load of people just acting like morons, and they're always fully grown blokes as well, who are in their 50s with a wife and 2 kids, and it's like, well, what, mate?
I've been on the pitch once in my life, and that was when my local team, no, we're non-league, they went the whole season unbeaten and won the title, and a lot of the fact they kind of wanted us on there. That was invited. It was after the celebration of the trophy.
Yeah,
lift,
that
like,
again, that's like a slightly different thing again.
Yeah, I
isn't it?
guess
Like,
so.
The thing,
200 local people.
A big pitch invasion. I always think seems so forced.
Yeah,
it really
I know
does.
what you mean.
I don't mind it if it is like, like when Leicester won the league. If Leicester fans invaded the pitch, I'd have gone, fair enough, because you're never going to see that again.
No.
But when you're a fan of Man City or Barcelona or Real Madrid, but imagine Real Madrid fans pitch invading the Champions League final. You're going to be there again next year.
They just applaud
do you know
and go,
what?
"Oh, nice job, we did it again."
Let me tell you what it is. It's people thinking that I've got an excuse to do something.
That's very true. That is true.
And it's exactly the same thing. And you'll know where I'm going with this, Chris. As those people who go to watch the Euros with in a big group of people, massive crowds, and just chuck pints in the air. Like you're only doing it because it's because it's kind of socially acceptable in the moment of a celebration. That is the only reason you're doing it, and you're an NPC for doing it. Yeah. If you do that, you're an NPC.
I mean, I think the cost of a pint at Euro 2024 is £5. So
with the cost of anything these days, I don't know why you're throwing anything away. I'll be trying to catch it again. That's what I'd be doing.
Right,
Chris is there with his mouth open to the sky.
Talking of selling, buying, Henry Burrows has asked if a bid for both Cucurella and Chilwell came in, who'd you sell? You heard
both of them.
What? Yeah, you heard my keep solo and Chilwell's gone. Cucurella's staying. He's staying.
Yeah, mine too. Both of them. Like, flaunt them both. Get like 80, 90 million for both of them, right? And then go out and buy a proper left back, and then just promote an academy kid to be the second choice. That's what you do.
You know what? We will actually play a game. We will, just to round it off, because it's going to be a quick one. The Tenaball, Ross Turnbull's Tenaball, week's category is Euro 2020. Just work together. Tell me there's 16 nations that made the round of 16 in Euro 2020. So I only need 10. So there's a lot of room to move. Just need 10.
Wait, hang on. Sorry. Can you say that one more time?
From Euro 2020, 16 teams got into the round of 16. Just need to name 10 of them. 10 of them.
Ah, okay.
Okay.
Germany.
They did. They were one of them. Yeah, one.
England.
2.
France.
Italy.
3, 4.
Spain.
5.
Switzerland.
6.
Anything else, man? Denmark.
Yeah, 7. Oh.
How did Croatia do?
8.
Yeah, Croatia went through. No
one's got one wrong yet. Well, no, yeah.
Belgium?
9. Oh.
Portugal.
10. Oh, nice one, lads. Yeah, I mean, you can get the other 6 if you want.
Flawless victory. Damn it. Romania?
No.
Slovakia?
No.
Oh, for God's sake.
You run out of team names. Look.
Did Turkey go through?
No. No.
I'm really struggling. Chris, help me. Help me.
I can also confirm San Marino were not there either.
It's a weird tournament to remember because it wasn't in a place, was it?
I know, that was so annoying.
Shop.
I didn't like it. I didn't like that.
You know what? I can't remember.
Okay, so we have...
Hang on.
Some shit nations must have gone through.
We can surely get this. Ukraine, did they go through?
Yes. I can't get over. There's one on here that you are going to...
Austria.
Austria did, yes.
Austria, yeah, that's a good show.
You're going to love one of them.
Holland?
Netherlands are on there, yeah. 3 more.
Did Czechia go through?
Yes.
Sweden.
There's one more, and I've already said it. Oh, no, I didn't say it on the show. I said it before the show.
Wait, hang on. Did you say Sweden?
Yeah, Sweden's been
I
said.
did say Sweden.
Can't believe this one place hasn't been said. Oh my word, this is great. Oh, there's some listeners now from this exact country going, wow. Wow, thanks.
Albania?
No. Other end of
Poland?
the alphabet. Other end of the alphabet.
Oh, geez.
Oh my word.
Scotland.
No.
Scotland did not go through.
Wales.
Yes.
Oh, dear.
I can't believe no one remembered that. Weren't they in England's group? I'm so sure they were in England's group. I need to check this. Or were they in the Denmark group?
No,
they was in
our group. I think it was a World Cup when Daniel Sturridge scored late on after Gareth Bale scored a free kick.
Yeah,
Wait,
That was like 2014 or
Oh,
something.
No, that was
Scotland were in the group.
that was
with
Euros
England.
2016, I think.
Wales
Yeah,
were
Scotland was in
yeah.
our group. We drew 0-0. It was absolute shit.
Yeah.
Wales were in the Italy, Turkey, and Switzerland group, which that's quite tight, but I think weren't they shit, Turkey? Yeah, they finished bottom with nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there we go. Right, there we go. Thanks for listening. Treat yourself well. Back on Friday with midfielders. So there you go. Keep so low. Till then, that is going to be Ocelot signing off. You've been listening to At the Bridge Pod, a Chelsea FC podcast. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram by searching for At the Bridge Pod. And if you're listening on Apple or Spotify, leaving us a review is always appreciated.